G'day, freedom lovers. How are we? Sorry, we're just a little bit late. And especially apologies for everybody who's seen the original thumbnail that said 1 o'clock. I forgot to change the time to 2 o'clock. Sorry. So if you've been patiently waiting there for an hour, you're an absolute champion. And there's a big sips to you. So we're here now. Hey, Purple Rigger, how are you? And Harp, so I seen you sent me an email. I will check that link out, man. I just didn't have 4 hours to have a look at it today, mate. So I might check that out during the week and have a look. And hey, maybe we can hook up and do something sometime, buddy. We'll see what we can do. So in case you haven't been paying attention for the last few podcasts, this is the last one for a short break there. We could take a couple of weeks, a bit of a vacation on the 8th of the 8th at 8 o'clock, as it was pointed out to me. We will be returning, and we've already got our next guest lined up. How's that? People cannot wait to jump back onto this podcast, which is awesome to see. So, and let me make sure. Oh, the bloody email's gone, isn't it? So it's the last Kiwi, I believe it was. I did make a folder. Where did it end up? I had this prepared and it's disappeared. Anyway, yeah, I believe he was the last free Kiwi. These fellas been going by, or lady, I'm not sure exactly which, but we'll find out. So they're keen to jump on, so we'll have them back on the 8th of the 8th at 8 p.m. because everybody seems pretty happy with the 8 o'clock time slot, which is fine. That's great. Makes life a lot easier. We don't have to change or redirect anything. Thanks to everybody who reached out and let me know that they were happy. Okay, Robin, how you going? People of the power back again. Good to see you, mate. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope you got your Sunday sipping boots on, because we've got Jacquie who's back to let us know how things are going with the Covenant and how the parade went. Jacquie, how are you?
Hey, how are you, mate?
Good. I'm ready for another round. Are you?
It all went well.
It went well?
Parade all went well. I think we probably had about, at a wild guess, 300 all up in Canberra.
Mm-hmm.
Wish it was 3 million, but we'll get there. So,
let's not let the truth get in the way of a good yarn now, shall we?
Call it how it is. No, but it was, a lot of people obviously couldn't make the trip down from Cairns to Canberra. Too big a drive. So, I think they just, a lot of them just fell into the convoy for 200 Ks or what have you, and then turned back home. But yeah, we had at least 300 in Canberra. I'd have to check with Jody what he reckons it was. But no, it was good numbers. We all caught up at the Monroe Tavern. I couldn't even tell you what part of Canberra that was, by the airport, I think. But it was a good gathering. It was a really good gathering. Got heaps of signatures along the way, and collected in cash 21,000 and something dollars in cash, and wow. The Give Send Go has gone up to nearly 40,000. So I think she's just covered costs to date, but we need to keep getting more money in for Dr. Beverly. One of the most important cases that will ever have been heard in the High Court. It's the biggest control mechanism the government has ever utilised on Australians, forcing them to, take an experimental medical service at that in order to be able to work. I mean, what bigger threat, can you give people? You either take this or you can't put food on your table, keep a roof over your head. So it's a very, very important one, especially in these times where bodily autonomy is paramount. When you got these weasels like the WHO organisation, Mr. Bill Gates Corporation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's madness, absolute madness. But no, it's good. So, how many signed forms have we had come through so far?
I am still counting, so I do apologise, people. I am way behind. I've got a whole lot of. I'm just finishing a notice of accountabilities, and I'm going to hop into the covenants, and I'm sending everybody replies. So I'm getting there, guys. I'm sorry. At a wild guess, maybe 2,000.
Yep, that's not too bad.
Maybe 2,000. I spoke to a lady who was helping me up in Queensland fairly, and she reckons there's 2,000 on just one of these sticks, and I've already got Yeah, probably 1,000 to the side already.
Yeah, cool.
So, now that's the other thing with the comment. So I gave the date of the 9th of July being the 125th year anniversary Queen Victoria signed our constitution. But the covenant is ongoing. It's live and it is organic. So keep signing away. As Australians wake up and come to the recognition of what is going on in this country, we need Australians to, recognise our true standing, shall I say. And I think more and more, gradually are. The people are the Commonwealth. I had I hear a lot, the Commonwealth doesn't exist anymore, the Constitution's gone and what have you. And I say, well, the people are the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth just can't disappear. And the equity, wealth, and resources of the Commonwealth belongs to the people. It does not belong to government. They own nothing. They are the administrators, agents, servants, and trustees, and they've been derelict in their duties. So this is where we need to stand up and do our claim of right and take it back. I had an impromptu meeting on my way back from Canberra, dropped in, had some dinner in Bairnsdale on my way home with some lovely ladies, and ended up down at Sue and Eric's place, a lovely couple. They're involved with the TASA group. So, obviously we all do our own thing, and we're all trying to fight this in the best way that we know how. And I think, we listen to, someone had to say to me, Jack, just basically shut up and let them speak, because I can get a bit headstrong. I need that sometimes. I really do. But anyhow, so this was something that they were saying, that the Commonwealth doesn't exist, the Constitution is no more. And I said, well, as I just said, the people are the Commonwealth. We're still here. And just because a corrupt government who's reconstituted themselves as a corporation and done their best to conceal and bury the truth, what are you just going to go along with that? Or do you think we need to stand our ground? Because this really is what it's all about, going back to the anteriors. They're really lovely people, and I agree with a lot of what they are saying. But for me, this business of having everybody as an individual having to do all this paperwork, whether there's money involved with trusts, to remove yourself from the system and put yourself into the private, etc. Why should we have to do that?
I agree.
Why do we not just correct this corrupt system and bring it back into line? So this was the other thing with the TASA group. They started with the communities and forming communities and getting good people involved, and that sort of thing is absolutely paramount for the next steps forward, I suppose, because this will be the thing we need to choose. We, the people of the Commonwealth, need to be able to select those whom we wish to elect, not from the mongrels that they put in front of us. So, I think they're onto a lot of good things down there. But once again, let's fix the system. We need to stand in our power, basically. This is the thing. Peacefully and lawfully, through courts of competent jurisdiction, we'll get things sorted. It'll be time consuming, but the more people that we can get on board, the better. This is the thing. Australians have just got to recognise that the people are the supreme and ultimate authority of this nation. And we need to have our voices not heard. This is why the covenant is worded the way it is. We are the sovereign beneficiaries by inherent right of this nation, of all its equity, its resources, its wealth, etc. And it is our duty, it is our sacred duty to stand up and protect that. It's being stolen from us. So this is where decree came into it, because decrees can be made by sovereigns, and the people of the Commonwealth together we are the sovereign beneficiaries. We can, by decree, which is a command. It's a lot stronger than a declaration. So this isn't any petition as such, asking for anything. We are commanding, and we've got the authority to do that. So that's what this is really all about, understanding our power, doing it peacefully and lawfully, and getting things done. It's, as I said, the only way to control the executive and the legislative branches is with judicial force, that and in conjunction with the people waking up.
No worries. Oh, thanks for clarifying, because a couple of people have sent through a couple of emails being concerned that they haven't gotten the Solemn League to you in time. And for those of you out there who's still thinking, oh, Struth, I forgot all about it, I better have another crack, you can definitely find it at constitutionwatch.com.au. Right here, the Solemn League and Covenant of the People of the Commonwealth of Australia, the call to action. You just click on this button just like that, and it all pops up, all the information you need, such as the email. For those of you who want to email it through, I believe I've written it out right, because a couple of people said they were having trouble with that. But then when I sent it through to them via email, it seemed to work for them. So if you are having trouble, I can directly send you an email if you need it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can download it here by just clicking this little button here, and it'll pop up with a little download button. And of course, there is the second document here as well, the notice of accountability, that you can click on as well. So, and yeah, of course, you can keep sending them in. I believe you're sort of taking account every month, is what you were saying the other day.
Yep, the 9th of every month.
9th of every month, and that is by no means a reason to just kick back and go, I'll do it next month. She'll be all right. Get onto it. Get onto it as quick as you can.
Get as many signed as possible. Please share it around. And I mean, all you, by signing this is why, as I said, I specifically put in there, it is, the call to action is to Australians, with honour and in conscience to sign this. It is a peaceful and lawful document. They're known as peaceful instruments in history, and they've been used for hundreds of years to stand up for the people, the people's sovereignty, and to stomp out the tyranny from whether it be kings or governments, etc. So I think I said on one of your last shows, the interesting thing when I was researching into the covenants was that the word conspiracy was reflected over the past few hundred years, and it was always about the government conspiring, or royalty or the king or what have you, conspiring against the people. Look how they've twisted it now. Yeah.
And not to be confused with conspiracy theory, it's an actual conspiracy.
Well, conspiracy theories are theories on what the conspirators are doing, and we have definitely got conspirators sabotaging our nation, sitting in a government, as a corporation.
And in the absence of actual factual information, which they continuously do their best to deny access to, one is left only with the opportunity to do that. Is there a microphone being tapped there? Something's not quite right.
Yeah, you're echoey.
Hang on, let's see if we can clear that up. Reduce background noise, that might help. All right. No, something's not right. I think, is your microphone sitting on a desk or something, perhaps?
Me, I'm only talking into my computer.
Oh, okay. Wonder what's causing that. That was horrible. I know, my ASIO friends hanging around again.
Oh, no doubt.
We've got the Queensland Police surveillance drone. We've got good old hidden networks floating about. But yeah, ASIO said he wanted to play with my internet at 1 o'clock in the morning, disrupting my ability to listen to the Bangles with my daughter. But I don't think they really achieved much there. But
waiting for them to do their job. One of the last times I was in camp, I walked up to the federal police and I said, "Listen," I said, "when are you going to go and arrest all of them up there on that hill?" And we had the Forest of the Fallen with the thousands of, memorial photographs, the babies' coffins, etc. And, federal police just said, well, bring us a case. I don't know, mate.
That's it, isn't it? Well, I mean, hang on, isn't it part of their job to investigate these things as well? Well, I mean,
Matter's got to be brought before them. Matter's got to be brought before them. I don't know. Look, I think the thing for us is to, rather than attack the, the puppets that are handing out these orders or putting these requirements, such as the mandates and the directions during COVID, the way to knock them out is to remove their power, which is by removing the legislation they created in order to give the illusion that they are operating lawfully, because the shows all sit underneath the state acts, the state health acts. And this is why Dr. Beverley's matter is so very important to get behind.
That microphone, man, it's not right with your microphone. Sorry, Jackie, because it's speaking on your meter. It's like somebody's playing a drum solo on it.
Do you know what? This has happened on like 2 or 3 lives that I have gone on.
Yeah. Have you got headphones or anything you can plug in, perhaps? Might.
No, there's nothing to plug in here. And like it's just the computer. I've got no noise around me whatsoever.
Did you have an audio engineer around by any chance that might be able to help?
Hey, audio. Hey, audio. Oh, where's he gone?
Have one around when you need it.
Hey, we need an audio engineer here. I don't know. He's not well. Can't do this.
The dead and the dying. Can we resurrect him? Get a bit of necromancy going, perhaps. Crank that fire up a little bit, sweat it out.
I can see that Manuela's got the fire in the background. I met my beautiful friends. DD. Oh, Jesus. He's getting on his phone now. That's not helping my computer, mate. All the brothers, I swear.
Have you tried turning it off and then on again? Nice work, Jake Soy. Have you got old IT crowd catchphrase?
On.
All right. Nope, hang on. Here we go. Sick bloke. How you going, sick bloke?
Yeah, I'm pretty sick.
Yeah, you identify as sick today?
I do.
Wow, there's a bit of slap back there.
I might have to jump off.
Oh, good. The real question was, can you help with whatever's causing Jackie's mic to sound like somebody's playing a drum solo on the top of it, please? So anyway, special guest appearance by Darren Dixon today, acting as a sick bloke and audio engineer.
When he gets here, bloody audio engineer. Mate, it sounds like there's someone's on a drum on my computer.
Right. It seems to be okay for now, but it's all right.
Echo.
I think we'll see what happens. So where was I? I was going to bring something into because there's a page here. I'm pretty sure it's run by the Labor government because they're constantly in support of Labor things and bagging on Liberal government and whatnot. And they've been going through my podcast because they obviously consider what I do to be a threat. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste their time. And they grabbed a whole bunch of stuff with when all you guys were on last. Yourself, Darren, Heidi, Daryl. And they grabbed this one particular bit. I'm just going to bring it up and have a look at it because it's worth a laugh, I think. It's I think the sad thing is there's monkeys out there that'll actually believe the bullshit that they're pushing here. But if you got half a brain, you can see this is utterly ridiculous. So they've grabbed this. They call themselves the Townsville Cooker Watch. Personally, I think they spend most of their time looking in the mirror. But, There they are. What do we do when the current parliament is dissolved? And they grab this question from Zusi here. Once the current corporate parliament is dissolved, do we have alternative people to replace them? You know, I mean, I don't understand what exactly they're trying to achieve here. You know, there was another one they grabbed here. Which is when Darren was asked, you know, about the maiden name scenario, because Heidi was pointing out that the court case had the wrong name because she hadn't actually lawfully changed her name, but they were using the change name anyway. And it's like, it's pretty obvious that it's not so much you go and change your name. It's a case of, well, they've got their paperwork wrong. But I think it's inspiring, really. We actually got quite a bit of screen time. I can't be bothered going through their webpage too much because it's utter cooked. They're the cooked ones. It's utter shit, really. But we must be making some headway because the Covenant even got mentioned and various other bits and pieces. I personally, I'm touched that they care so much to go through the entire podcast and try and pick peanuts out of it. At the end of the day, I think all they really did was demonstrate that they themselves are peanuts. But it was quite inspiring. I thought I'd let you know we've got a secret bunch of fans out there, and they all like to hide behind fake identities and fake names, you know, because they're so strong and powerful. Not one of them has had the balls to come up and say anything in public, or you know, they just hide behind this ridiculous little cooker page, and you can see it's real popular. Oh, here he is again. Sick
what
bloke.
Was that about fake names?
Oh, the one Cooker Watch.
All these people that run the Cooker Watch page, they're all hiding behind fake names and fake profiles, and every now and then I get invites to be friends with these people with clearly fake profiles. You know, it's quite interesting.
I wonder if the sick bloke will get a mention next week.
Well, you got to mention the last time, so we all got mentions.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I guess everything that we, you know, put out. Darren, just go to Constitution Watch. Everything is backed up. He's got all these reference points, all the FOIs. Nearly everything I put out there, you can either read in the Constitution or in High Court case law, or it's what we're doing. So it's all factual stuff. Yes. So we've just got to get enough Australians to wake up and acknowledge that we are the power. We are the ones that are to make the decisions. Government are our public servants, and we need to rein them into line. I think one of the best ways to wake your everyday Joe Blow up, even those that love the government, if you say to them, you know, what do you think about China owning a third of Australia? They're not happy about that. What do you think about all of our coal and our gas and fuel, etc., all of our minerals, all of our resources basically being given away with these multinational foreign corporations provided tax exemptions and profiteering in the trillions, whereas you know, Australians should be receiving something, whether that's $50,000 or $100,000 a year into our bank accounts. And not just that, I mean, all of our fuel, our gas, everything should be 1/10 of the price of what it is.
Yep.
And instead, we are just getting taxed. This is the thing, like, we so need a full the people need to do a full inquest into where all of the money is going. Where do all our taxes go? Where do all our taxes? When you think about it, how many houses are sold today? You've got stamp duty on the houses, you've got the stamp duty on the cars, you've got the tolls, you've got the rates. It is freaking never ending, mate. And like with the, you know, with the food and everything, everything's gone up 3 times at least. It's tripled in the past 3 to 4 years. The farmers aren't seeing that money.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, they say inflation is nothing but a fiction. It is a fiction. A potato is worth no more today than what it was 1,000 years ago. It is still of the same value. Inflation is a government creation to then bring in all this bullshit about, you know, we're in a recession or what have you. And, you know, they usually, what guides them there is if a business hasn't made as much in the first half of the year as the second, and so on and so on. If your business stays even or makes any profit at all in either the first or the second half of the year, you're doing okay. And, as you know, some businesses are seasonal. It's all just utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. Just another way they screw us over, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I mean, when it comes to taxation, I had a wonderful meme that I brought up last week that seems relevant to the conversation at this point. What makes sex not rape? Consent. What makes a job not slavery? Consent. What makes transaction not robbery? Consent. What makes taxation not theft? Magical fairy dust.
Yeah.
Because at no point did we grant consent to this, at least not to my knowledge, and I challenge anyone from the government to present said document.
It is absolutely crazy. I mean, income tax. JD, are you listening? No, it's going because they can always correct me if I'm wrong. To the best of my knowledge, income tax was brought in, during the war, and that was just, to get us through, etc., etc.
And not just here in Australia, that was actually done overseas as well. I'm pretty confident America had the same thing. Income tax was brought in to pay for the wars, and the same things obviously would have happened throughout Western nations. If it happened in Australia, it's probably happened here. Just the same as the Banking Acts in 1913 came in very conveniently 1 year before World War I started. And they also happened all around the Western society at the same time as well. It's very funny how there's these patterns. So which is what leads me to my latest catchphrase. I don't know if I've shared it with you yet, but cost of living crisis. Don't you mean a cost of government crisis? Well, let's start looking at this. And the main reason is to me, I look at the concept of cost of living crisis as if they're trying to say that our lives somehow cost more, and how dare us for living, we are the problem with the cost by living. I'm like, no. This is all government engineered shit. Let's get it down to the brass tacks of what the real problem is. It's the cost of government, the cost of their bad decisions, the cost of their way of doing things, the cost of their horrific amount of taxes, as Senator Malcolm Roberts pointed out quite a few years ago. And I'm sure these numbers have not gone in our favor since. But he was basically saying on a 9-to-5, 5-day-a-week job, the average Australian fundamentally pays tax from Monday morning at 9 a.m. till about 10 o'clock Thursday morning. All of that you've worked is to pay for government in one way, shape or another. From Thursday 10 o'clock onwards to Friday knockoff, that's what you get.
Yeah, but then the money that you have been already taxed on and you are left, you are then taxed again with every transaction. It never stops. It absolutely never stops. Darren was saying, like, this capital gains, this is just bullshit. I mean, fair income. How many taxes can they put on one subject matter? You got your stamp duty on your house, you got your rates on your house, you've got your land tax now, you've got your capital gains. It's never ending. Capital gains on what they think your house is going to, the gain that it's going to make.
Something went really pear-shaped with the microphone then. That sounded like somebody plugged 240 volts into it. Oh.
It's probably me getting aggressive. I elbowed the table.
Upset the computer. Doesn't seem to like it very much. That was one hell of a sound there. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for that. But it actually reminds me, I went to a court case with Darren years and years ago now, and there was a copper there who was defending himself, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen because the guy wheeled in like a suitcase full of paperwork, to fight a traffic fine. It was fucking hilarious. But talking to that fella at the time, he was like, hang on, he basically left the police force because he's like, this is just ridiculous. The whole system's corrupt, to the point that even he, a copper, is willing to fight a speeding fine. It might have been a parking ticket. I don't know if Darren's listening. Maybe he can help correct me on that one. But I spoke to him. Well, it certainly doesn't seem like you're knocking the table. I think you might have a loose wire in that microphone or something in the computer.
You just disappeared. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, wow. All right.
Let's hope.
All right, let's try that again. So, and I was talking to this copper, and he was basically saying, look, according to the law, there's only supposed to be one tax. Goods and services tax has already stuffed us. That's two taxes. You know, so the whole system is completely wrong. And that was from a copper's point of view. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. That was just what was relayed to me. And it seems to make sense. And then you think about how many other excises and ridiculous terminologies they have to call something that is fundamentally a tax, but avoid the term tax. Something that I've seen even Liberal senators point out to, you know, in regards to Labor documents, or particularly in Victoria recently. I did have a clip of it somewhere in a past one. Give me a second, I might be able to find it. But yeah, they were basically saying, you know, it's typical Labor government legislation. They've got all the wording in there that fundamentally means tax without actually using the word tax. You know, it's madness. And at what point do people go, right, we've had a gutful, we've had enough of this? And it doesn't matter whether you come in on the boat last week, or whether you've been here 200 years, or whether you've been here, your family's been here for thousands of years. You know, at the end of the day, we're all suffering under the same tyranny, and that is government.
Absolutely. Look, there's a Supreme Court case law from the States. I'm trying to think what it is. I think it's
that microphone's going again. Sorry, Jackie. Got to be really still.
Hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's case law pertaining to taxes. Taxes cannot be arbitrary or unreasonable, and they cannot be. The taxing power is one of the greatest powers to destroy. So, and this is exactly how they're using it. And there is case law saying you cannot use the taxing power to destroy. You cannot create arbitrary and unreasonable taxes for the people. But this is the thing. If we just continue to sit back and do nothing, nothing is going to change. It's just going to get worse. So this is the thing. You know, you see so many people in these posts say, everything's just negative. I don't know why you bother, you know, we're stuffed, we're screwed, da da da. So what do you want to do, mate? Just sit back and do jack shit, or you want to stand on your feet and actually try and implement the change that we seek? So this is the thing. It's about standing up and actually doing something. And so long as we're lawful and peaceful,
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Exactly, being lawful and peaceful. And you can see that's one of the things that really upset them during all the COVID protests, was that people were smart enough to not give the alleged authority an opportunity to turn this against the system. They had to invent shit in the end because they didn't have any ammunition to actually make us look bad. And personally, I think that's a testament to the Australian people who stood up and said, hell no, we won't go. We're not going to play this game, that we didn't give them the ammunition they wanted. I think that really says a lot, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and that was the thing. All of the violence that was shown on mainstream media was actors. We'd be looking, who the hell is that? The media would be over there and they'd be filming a scene. And then, of course, you had all the fear mongering. And I will say, you know, I don't hesitate to call it as I see it. You know, the young pregnant lady, you know, people say, oh, she was for real. She was for real. I'm sorry. I do not believe that for a moment. The warrant was false. You know, it was just one of the most scaremongering tactics there was.
She was artificially inseminated.
AI, look out. Artificial insemination.
Yeah, I mean, like, how ridiculous. You've got this young pregnant woman who's got to go and get tests, you know, scans the next day. She's put a post up on Facebook, and the house is raided and she's put in handcuffs. It's like, come on. And then you had the other one that was thrown on the ground and like strangled by that copper. That, again, they were actors. And the copper that was doing the strangling, he was in the young pregnant lady's house, Zoe's house as well.
Yeah. Well, that's a
And
good point. Whatever happened to those people? Like, I mean, they're not fighting through the courts, you know, such as the likes of Nick Patterson and various other people that have stood their ground and taken this to the nth degree. I mean, what happened to them? You know, it was like a here today, gone tomorrow. It was almost like you know, Survivor and one hit wonder.
yeah, look, there was so much made up shit. It's the same as there was the old lady in the red jacket that was thrown on the ground. They pepper spraying her. That was a man. That was a man.
Oh,
There
really?
was an older woman there. Yep, there was an older woman there in the red jacket, and her, don't know if it was her son or not, but he had on her coat and a wig. That was a man. So it was just all fear mongering. Look, you know, they're not going to hesitate to throw old women on the ground, attack pregnant women, strangle girls in the streets. Bullshit. All absolute fear mongering. And this is what they rely on a lot. This is how they get people to comply. So it's, for God's sake, as I keep saying, our forefathers sacrificed their lives. They were under a rain of bullets. All we've got to do is stand up, for God's sake. Pen and paper. That's it. Or you're going to get handed a bit of paper. I do not know what has happened to Australians. We were known. No, it wasn't Jackie. Michael met her. Who? Which one?
So, well, Michael was saying the lady that was pepper sprayed. Apparently, Michael Gray Griffith spoke to her. So
Really?
I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll have to check that one. Can
I'll
somebody
look back
maybe
on that
go through and dig that up for us?
Video footage. We had the video footage showing it was definitely a man. Oh, so Michael.
Okay.
Michael, I'm not going to say anything in here. No more comments. I'll be nasty.
But I think Jason made a good point here that, and we were all allowed to watch it. You know, like, I mean, again, normally you'd think from the mainstream media point of view, they tried to not film a lot of the police brutality, but in this particular instance, they were keen to show it.
Oh, absolutely, because it's the fear mongering,
yeah. And you got to weighing it up. Is this one just going to make the coppers look bad, or will it make the people bend the knee? You know, which way are we going to play this? You know, what's the angle here? I mean, any decent reporter worth, you know, their weight in gold or weight in salt or even peanuts out of a poo sandwich in this scenario might have actually turned around and gone and said, this is police brutality. Look at what the coppers have done to an innocent old lady who was peacefully protesting, you know. I mean, look at the way they covered for, you know, people, you know, I think it was it Melbourne or Sydney where they had all the Palestinian protesters basically saying gas the Jews, and then they covered for them and said that's not what they said. What was the bullshit they come out with? They said, where's the Jews? That's right. We got audio experts out to analyze this, and they said, where's the Jews? You all misheard it wrong.
Well, yeah, too bad if they did say gas the Jews. I mean, too bad. Too bad. I'm not gonna say anything. The atrocities of war are atrocities of war, but history is a freaking lie. Yeah. And the other thing is, it is not a crime to offend somebody. It's a crime to incite violence. So
it's a choice to be offended. It's a personal choice. You know, you have to go, right, I'm going to let this get to me, or I'm going to not let this get to me. It's a personal choice.
It is the way things are said to you, though, as well.
Yeah. In some cases, I guess, you know, yeah, if it's directly fuck you and everyone on, you know, and, you know, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, whatever, and it's said with that ferocity and the tone that says, right, let's fight, then that is an assault, you know. But if it's just something that's said in passing as a joke and it's jovial and it's not really meant to hurt, that's a whole different thing.
Even if it's not a joke, Patty, Pauline Hanson had every right to say what she did to Maureen Faruqi. So, Pauline, how much money did you take into account for that staged bloody setup? Like, this is the thing. They are setting cases up to set false precedents. Now, the Attorney General of the Commonwealth intervened in that. Dreyfus, I think he's a JEW as well. So we do have concerns. There's a lot of I actually call him the Attorney General of Israel. That's what I was calling him. He intervened in the Faruqi versus Hansen case, and his role in that case was to invalidate Section 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act because it is invalid. Instead, he upheld it because there is case law that has well and truly established it is not a crime to offend somebody, only to, incite violence. So, yeah.
And that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're setting the stage. This is what they're doing. They're setting the stage to make us think, oh, we've got to be careful what we say. We can't offend anybody. Yeah, we can. Absolutely we can. Speak your mind.
Well, how do you not offend someone? That's the thing, I mean, you scratch your face in the wrong way and it might be sign language for fuck you for all I know. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, what people are going to decide to be offended by. And I think in a lot of cases that is it. It's a conscious decision to, I want to be offended. What's going to offend me today? Particularly when you look at some of these trans actors who are getting around with the intent of being offended so that they can put it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever and go, look how I was offended today because I was misgendered or something. And they go out of their way to create the scenario and they're purposely filming knowing that this is going to come out. It's
they're just
fucking
attention seekers. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Children.
Absolutely crazy. So, look, the covenant is organic, and so is the solemn notice of accountability. Both of them are available on constitutionwatch.com.au. So this is the thing. The people are the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth, we're still, we need to stand up and make the change, implement that change that we seek. Just because we've got a corrupt corporation masquerading as though they've got some kind of lawful authority, we do not accept that. They are raping and pillaging our nation. They are destroying it. And it's very clear that their allegiance lies with foreign interest, providing them tax exemptions and allowing them to profit off the equity of the Commonwealth that belongs to the people, all the people. Yeah. It's absolutely criminal what is going on. Now, the other thing, other than Dr. Beverley's case, and any GAP people out there, I think Rod needs some support too with his matter. So Rod's the Section 92 case pertaining to movement. Dr. Beverley is pertaining to bodily autonomy. Never again will they be able to make it a requirement. You have to be vaccinated to go to work. In fact, everyone, if
I've just seen Victoria's comment there. She offended herself last night after the third shot.
Of tequila. God, we've all got coughs down here. Bloody chemtrails.
Very well done. And well timed. It's almost as if we planned that the way that rolled out. I mean, I'm having a sip and you answered the question. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can't make this up.
No, you can't make this up. How many people are actually offended in being misgendered? Or I agree. I actually agree. This is the thing. All this shit that we are seeing on the TV, or we've got to remember, everything we see on the TV is them trying to either instill fear or cause some kind of division, because united we stand, an unstoppable force. So they will do everything they can to keep us divided. So, I know firsthand, because I've had a couple of my friends, one of their neighbours was killed by migrants, an 80-year-old man down in Gippsland, house broken into, and he was beaten to death. And my friend's daughter had a knife held to her throat down in that was Cranbourne area, trying to carjack her car. But this is the thing. These new migrants are being treated differently. They are just being let out on bail continually. Like, you've got these examples of a man who's done a Facebook post and he's got 2 months jail, and then you've got another guy that's, I don't know, offended someone and he's got 2 years jail, and then you've got someone who's, raped a teenage girl and they've got a 6 months good behaviour bond.
Yeah.
What was the other one recently in Melbourne? It was look, we've got
It just
no
adds weight to the argument, that this is
Yeah.
a cost of government crisis, and that's just another cost of their poor decision making.
Well,
And you can't help but wonder: is the purpose of such poor decision making solely for the purpose of making sure that we hate migrants and creating an internal war between us all?
I believe so, and this is the thing: unless you put in harsh enough deterrence, they're just going to continue. They're laughing at us, absolutely
Yeah.
laughing. They can get away with anything because the police aren't, or the courts aren't charging them. So this
Yeah.
is the thing. I mean, this is all by design. But if you made harsh enough penalties, I'll give you an example. When my friend years ago, she went over to Saudi Arabia to visit her daughter, who was a CEO over there, and they went and they had lunch. And half an hour later, they're sort of walking around all the shops there, and she'd left her purse back in the restaurant half an hour ago. Flew into a panic, looked at her daughter, and said, "Oh my God, my purse, my purse! Everything's at the restaurant." Her daughter calmly looked at her and said, "Don't worry, Mum. No one would dare touch your purse. It will still be there. Because if you touched it, you get your hand chopped off." It's time we brought in harsher bloody penalties. This is the thing. Well, I'm not saying for stealing, getting out.
But again, is that another reason to try and bring in more harsher penalties? You got to wonder, what is the motivation behind these people? I mean, at face value, I'm sitting here thinking, obviously, to create dissent and division amongst the people. Divided we fall, divide and conquer. All these kind of phrases come to mind. But the ability to empower the government absolutely is another real dangerous element too. At what point do they turn around and go, "Wow, look at all these people getting off willy-nilly. We need to make them guilty until proven innocent," for instance? Is this an opportunity to start turning things upside down on us in that way?
Well, I think they already have, Paddy. They already have done that. This is the thing.
In case of a speeding fine, you're definitely guilty until proven innocent. With trivial things like that, it's amazing how you've got an actual crime you want solved. It takes years to get shit sorted. But if you get dicked for speeding, don't worry, the check's in the mail. And if you don't deal with it quick, smart, we're coming after you.
Look, this is the problem: is that we're being treated differently. So if you're, and I'll say, if you are a Caucasian, if you're a white Aussie, you'd be in jail with 10, 20 years for some of the crimes that these immigrants have been let free for. So once again, it is all in the agenda. Everything is very well planned. And this is the other thing. They're not hiding anything.
Oh, there goes that microphone again. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. They're not trying to hide anything at all.
We need to get some insulation under your computer or something. It's a laptop you got there, yeah?
Yeah. I'll put my notepad under to see if that helps. So
maybe a towel or
we've
got
got
foam
to
or something.
We've got to demand justice. Is that better?
We'll find out when you elbow the table again. Okay, that didn't do it. Maybe that's the problem. All right, notepad has solved the problem, hopefully, unless it's some sort of other issue. It's an interesting one.
I've unplugged it as well, just in case there's an electrical issue. So look, this is the thing.
That could have been it, actually, because it did sound a little bit electrical. So anyway, we'll problem solve it another day.
The other thing, we have got cases ready to rock and roll. So of course, everybody is, very concerned about all this, the new bill for the WHO and, the WHO treaty and everything that is coming into play. So where are the plaintiffs? There are cases ready to rock and roll. Anybody that is interested in being a plaintiff, we need Australians to get behind people who are willing to stand up for all of us in the courts. So I'll give you an example.
Well, before we get to that example, perhaps we can start with, for those who don't comprehend what exactly a plaintiff is and what would they be volunteering to do.
Or the applicant. Plaintiff is the applicant, okay? So it would be, basically, this is it's for people who've got a good retention, a good intellect, and who feel as though they could handle themselves in court. So the cases are
somebody who did well in the debating team in school.
Well, yes, but the thing is like when you're in court, you must not be distracted, because they will do absolutely everything they can to distract you and divert you down some irrelevant path and irrelevant argument. So you must always just rein it back in. So the cases are written. It is just a matter of being able to remember. Well, you'll have it in front of you anyhow. You know, the High Court case law precedents showing this is the law. The High Court have already made these determinations, etc. It's just basically learning the arguments. It's only about 8 pages all up. You know, and you just research and not research, but, you know, learn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. But
and obviously, there's wonderful people like yourself, Darren and Daryl, and various others who are there to give you good coaching and guidance.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the thing. This is not nothing is based on, you know, our opinions or anything else. Everything is based on the Constitution or precedents that have been set in the High Court. So you're reading directly. So you, Your Honours, unanimously for the last 70 years have relied on this High Court. This is coming out of your mouth, see? Yeah. The big one, there's a couple of big ones. We've got the WHO, against the WHO treaty. So this is basically a challenge, an applicant or a plaintiff regarding the Biosecurity Act. At sections 478 and 479 of the Biosecurity Act is where you will see the WHO recommendations. Now, Parliament, their powers, their legislative powers, ability to write laws are indivisible. They cannot delegate them out or hand them to anybody else, in particular a foreign organisation. Like, it's bordering on treason. It really is. Some foreign corporation says, you need to write this into your legislation. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. Constitution doesn't allow for that. And the other thing, Dee Dee's coming in.
Yep, here we go.
He's going to have something to say about this one. The other thing is with the treaty power under the external affairs power. Now I'm watching very carefully what I say, because I've got DD here. He'll correct me. Pressure. The external affairs power. So there is a High Court case law, and it was one of the Chief Justices. It clearly states that treaties can only be entered into between 2 or more independent nations. So treaties cannot be entered into with a nation and a corporation, or a nation and an organisation, let alone treaties within the same nation. So all of these treaties that the government are putting in place with First Nations, load of rubbish.
Yeah,
they're fooling them.
There's a report from
fooling
the attorney,
everybody.
Yeah, there's a report from the Attorney. There's a report from the Attorney General's office from the, I think it's from the 90s, and they basically had a look at the One Nation. Sorry, the tribal nations claiming sovereignty, and what the issue is at international law. There's only one sovereign nation. You can't have 2 sovereign nations. So yeah, and only a sovereign nation can treaty with another sovereign nation.
There we go. Treaties are part of the external affairs heading. Yeah, that's correct.
So but where do we stand from another point of view to take it? Like, I mean, you know, if we're going to say, right, the Constitution is the indissoluble, blah, 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 but what of the Indigenous people that were here prior to the creation of this document, and their desire to say, well, actually, first in time, first in law, we were here, our law stands, who the hell are you to come in here and stamp this new piece of fucking paper over the top?
I totally agree. I absolutely agree. What is first in law is truest, but we are now at a point. What is the percentage? And you've got to look at the influx of the migrants that we have got in here now. I think the percentage of First Nations here was was very low, like 5 years ago, and now it'll be absolutely minimal.
Mm.
You got any idea, DD?
No.
No.
The percentage I know prior to COVID was somewhere in the vicinity of 2.5% of actual Aboriginal people in the population. Last I looked, they're less than 1 million. So, you know, it was about 900,000 people are actually of Aboriginal descent, according to the Bureau of Statistics, that when I last looked. You know, so they don't even make up 1 million people. And we're looking at what, about 27 million at the moment. So, yeah, that's definitely, you know, probably closer to 2% now because of the excess amount of immigration. Albo brought in 1.4 million people in his 3-year tenure, which well and truly exceeded the amount of Aboriginal people in this country as it is. And he sits here and pretends to care about the Aboriginal people. Like, you've got to be shitting me.
It's an absolute
and I was
joke.
talking to an Aboriginal bloke about it. You know, I pointed out those stats to him, and he's gone, you know what? All those people have got to go home. That was one particular Aboriginal man's perspective. I can't say he's speaking for all tribes, because, as he constantly says, you can't speak for another man's country. But as far, you know, he is an elder himself, and from his, you know, point of view, he's like, nah, get him out of here.
Yeah, look, I have the utmost, you know, respect for our First Nations people, but we are now in a situation, and I was saying it the other day, it was only when I went to Canberra that I really understood or discovered that for all of the 369 tribes, 400 including the clans, they've all got their own law. So that we couldn't go under that, not 26 million people. We've got to have a structure. The other thing is the, you know, the Constitution is organic. So it is there for, you know, amendments, you know, to be made, repeals, additions, etc., with the people's will, with referendum. So you got to look at that I think Darren and I have had, Darren thinks differently about this, I think, but I'll just check. You know, that referendum was it 66? The referendum where they removed section, was it 127 and
67?
So from the 2021 census, 812,000 people are in.
Is there a breakdown of? Is there a breakdown of people who are of Aboriginal blood and the identifiers?
Well, it just says identified in unison. So everybody who identified as Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islanders. And having spoken to Aboriginal people, you know, they're like, well, the Torres Strait aren't of this land. They're of that land. They're from that island. So again, you know, there's another point of division there. And according to this, 91% of that 812% are of actual Aboriginal, 4.2 are Torres Strait, and 4.4 are of mixed. So if we were to take the mixed blood and put it in, we're looking at about 95% of that 800. So yeah, with a quick crunch in the head, we're looking at about 750.
Well, look,
there's definitely in the 2% of overall population.
Yeah, it was a 67, the referendum. My point with that referendum was that the government, with that, did any First Nations people vote in that? Did they actually have a say in that referendum, or they just, how many would have?
I think, wow, I know a lot there's a lot of Indigenous who just don't vote. A lot of the people I interviewed, particularly up here, who were like, no, it's not our system. We're not encouraging it. We don't want a part of it. We don't want to sign on in any way, shape or form. So a lot of them didn't vote. The ones who do vote are the ones who are signing up for the Communist Party and, you know, looking for government solutions and handouts and whatnot. So again, there's a division again. There's another divided they fall scenario in that, you know, because there's a lot of Aboriginal activists who are getting paid by the Labor Party, for instance. I know there's a few up here, you know, who are on the payroll. They're living in really nice, big, fancy friggin' houses while the rest of their population are living in the park.
See, the issue with the 1967 referendum, Mark, is this. It's the only time where a nation has decided the future of another nation. there was no self-determination.
That is true.
And the section, which is, which section is it? Where it used to say that the Commonwealth, the Parliament may make laws for all races except for Aboriginal, was then changed to, the Parliament just make laws for everyone. So I read that prior to that they couldn't make laws for Aboriginals, and prior to the referendum they were not counted in the census.
Only the state could make laws for them.
Oh yeah. We had that.
And there's a scenario there too where they had to try. I think they tried to classify them as fauna or something. They're like.
Oh yes. Well, when were they? When did that come about? That came about, of course, with the everything's a lie. I'm telling you, everything's a bloody lie to divide us. We've got the same common enemy.
Yeah, I've gone and had a look at that claim. I don't believe that was in the original act. The Flora and Fauna Act, and there's a claim that Aboriginals were listed as flora or fauna under that act. I've gone back and had a look. I don't believe that it's there. I couldn't find it.
There is just so much to divide us. That's all they want to do. Divide. We have got to start recognizing that we've got one common foe, shall I say, that is causing us hardship, and we need to unite and defend ourselves peacefully and lawfully. And the only way I can see it is through the Constitution and the people in numbers rising up and making demands, rising up with our pens in hand.
Yep. Because if it is the cost of government crisis. I can't see it as anything else, because when you look at where are all the problems coming from, it's government.
Absolutely. They're the cause of everything. Yeah. And then all of the remedies they provide are actually making
fuel on the fire.
Bad. It's fuel on the fire. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So this is my latest catchphrase. If anybody who wants a copy of that image to share the hell out of, I'm going to post it up on all my social medias that take pictures. But you can also grab that from my Telegram page as well. I've posted it up, and I think it's time to start spreading. Actually, I've got to adjust this one. I realised I forgot to put my North Queensland Freedom Network logo on there. Got to claim my brilliant idea where I can, and hopefully spread the love of the network at the same time. So sharing this picture not only gets the idea out there, it helps the network at the same time. So, jump on and give us a hand. I'll fix that one after the show. So I've done it in a few different shapes to make things a bit easier for people, because, as much as I hate the whole I prefer landscape as opposed to portrait, because, the whole portrait thing is just like I'm staring at this on my phone. But, I guess most people do stare at things on their phone. So
I'm going to run another case by you. So other than the WHO one, so anybody that is interested in being an applicant, and in a perfect world, Australians get behind everyone who is willing to stand up and make change in the courts just for the cost of a cup of coffee or a meal. Put that towards a person who is willing to stand up and fight. So there's the WHO one, got Dr. Beverly already in the courts. Rod is in the courts with the Section 92. Dr. Beverly's also doing the freedom of speech one. So she's got the two matters running. And Dr. Valerie has got lots going on still as well. But we're looking for plaintiffs, maybe 7 plaintiffs, for example. This is having a go at, it's against AHPRA and the Medical Board of Australia. So this is basically suing AHPRA and the Australian Medical Board, because what they are doing is they have made doctors abandon their duty of care to tell the truth. So we're now in a situation where we go to visit our doctor, and AHPRA, or the Australian Medical Board, may as well be sitting there with a gun to our doctors' heads. We cannot ask them anything and expect to get the truth, because the doctors have been threatened. They have interfered with the doctor-patient relationship, and even in their own blooming statutes and legislations, it says they're not allowed to do that. So you've got a statutory corporation being APRA that has their own criminal branch with their own crimes inspector and a statutory corporation administering law. Something's not right.
Yeah. So
We
in
have
the
got
case
to-
of something like that, are you looking for someone who is a doctor in order to move
No.
in on that?
No, not in this case. Plaintiffs to be patients. Any
Okay, so a patient
everyday
of a doctor.
Australian.
So again, is there a certain circumstance perhaps that somebody may
No,
need to have gone through? Like, you know, just straight away, no, I don't feel my doctor's giving me the correct advice because of your interference, and that's all you need. You don't need a
absolutely.
specific example of how
Absolutely.
this has actually, you know, affected them, perhaps.
Mhm. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
That's it.
The question here from Rex.
Rexy. Bloody legend, Rexy.
All right, well, you can read out his question.
Jackie, Johnny C has put the word out for Andrews and who's Kessick to hand themselves in by the 29th. Oh, civilians arrest them. Be very careful.
Mm.
Do not get yourselves into any bloody stupid circumstances. Rexy?
Who's Johnny C?
I'm not sure. Nip that one right in the bloody bud. I tell you what, this is why we have got to remain very peaceful and very lawful, because they've already put into legislation, jailing of Australians if we hurt or harm foreign military or UN officers on our soil. So they started putting legislation in place 10 years ago to protect foreign military and, foreign forces from being hurt by us, but there's nothing to protect us.
Now, isn't that surely there's some sort of constitutional protection for that? You know, that's it. That's a foreign army.
This is the problem. This is the problem that we are facing with this corporation that is calls themselves the Australian government. They've just continually created that much bullshit legislation and statutes that they're unconstitutional. Absolutely unconstitutional. So until we go into the courts and invalidate them, it remains. It is either that or we get government out, we get people in, and new government can repeal. DD. Just making sure you're listening. That's the only other way, isn't it? Through the courts. Correct. Through the courts invalidating or getting good people into government repealing those unconstitutional acts. The problem, is that you've got nobody in government knows anything about the Constitution, and I'm sick and bloody tired of hearing them all. Malcolm Roberts and bloody Jared Rennick and Alex Antic and everyone else. If they knew their Constitution, they've got a lot better chance to get the attorneys general, who are all bloody crooked as well, to present a case and stop all this shit. No, you don't get it, do you? You can't fight a system using the rules. Every change in human history. Listen here, mate. You got to stay in the system to fight the system, to expose the system, to bring the system down. Because that's the situation we are in. So I do get it. Silvertail 947. That's my opinion anyhow. You can go outside the system. You can bloody sit back and go, right, I'm sitting in the private here. Can't touch me. Really? We got to fix this bloody system for everybody. We should not be in a situation where we feel as though we have all got to, keep ourselves safe by putting ourselves into the private. We need to correct it. And I do believe we have got a chance here in Australia. We are isolated. Do you know what I mean? We have got a chance. We need Australians to get this staunchness back. What the bloody hell happened to us? What happened? Yeah. I do not understand it.
Immigration.
Well, no,
I think there's a great deal of apathy as well.
Yeah, and half of our young
laziness. She'll be right.
Yep.
A lot of us are desperately surviving. You know, it's like it's amazing how many people I talk to who are just like, all I do is work, and I've got nothing left for myself at the end of it. It's just work just to survive, just to keep your own little house, I guess, is one nice way of looking at it. But, you know, self-contained prison cells another.
Yeah, someone's got writing will just lead to more authoritarian control. This is exactly what they want, okay? This has been an IQ test, and most people have failed. People are starting to wake up, and it is a tolerance test. They are no longer hiding anything. They are shoving it under our faces. We are being pressured and put under an ever-increasing, Darren's trying to get a word in, not much hope, increased taxes. Like, fair income, they are shoving this in our faces. How much are we going to tolerate? They are trying to push us to riots. They are trying to push us into rising, yes, and fighting. We remain peaceful and lawful. Can't do jack. Yeah, the fluoridation. I mean, where do you stop? We've got to get the country back. We've got to take control. We are the power, okay? That is enshrined in law. Australians, stand up. Let's start implementing things. I do love this. This is what I liked about the My Place setups, was it's going back to grassroots. You know, it's setting up communities, and it's all about self-sufficiency and self-sustaining and teaching, you know, from the grassroots, the ground up. And it's the same with the TASA groups, you know, with the communities. Communities are absolutely essential. So we really need to start working on that as well as a backup. And, yeah, we need to be selecting people who we want to, I guess, represent us, or, yeah, look after certain areas in government. Because it's just, the system is so broken. It is so corrupt. So everything went off, by the way, too. I sent everything off on the, oh, sorry, guys, I think it was like 12:04. One of the ladies helping me was sick, and I was left with a whole lot to try and download. It took me forever. But I did get it all off. New Zealand, America, UK, all through Australia. And on the 9th of every month, it's going to be resent, and I'm hoping we can, you know, double those numbers again, and then the next month triple them, etc. This is the will of the people. It's going to be a lot truer reflection of where the people stand than these dodgy, bloody rigged elections.
Definitely. And for those of you who have tuned in and missed the first part of the show, the Solemn League and Covenant paperwork is available on Constitution Watch at constitutionwatch.com.au. It's a nice and easy place to get it. Of course, you can also email me, and I'm happy to send you through links and what you need. And it's so easy. Look at here. It's still only the second thing on here at the moment. Darren's obviously been too busy to fill out some extra things.
Daily job.
Still too busy. The Solemn League and Covenant of the People of Australia is right here. You've got the email address available for you for where to send it. Nice and easy to be able to just click this button and download it there. And don't stop there, because there's also the Solemn Notice of Accountability as well. You can download and have a crack at that. And then once you're done signing that, email it off to Jackie so that she can get it in for the next round. Can we make month 2 bigger than month 1? You know, it should be a challenge every time. You know, once you've got yours on, now you want to do it like what are you with that mail stuff you used to get? You know, somebody sends you mail and you just have to send it on to 10 chain mail or something. And I said, treat it like chain mail. You sign one, now get 10 other people to sign it. Let's move on.
Look, Jody Lowe did such a great job of getting it out there. I was so grateful to him for, setting up the Cairns to Canberra convoy, etc. And then we came from South Australia in Vic. But I really love his idea doing the country to coast. So I think he was looking at doing that in September. But, you know, realistically, all of us could do something, I don't know, once a week or once a fortnight even, because we have got to get out to our farmers. I'm overdue for a phone call to Wade. That is absolutely crucial. that we get our farmers sorted and all this bullshit with the taxes. And I'm not sure exactly what legislation they're using against them, but we've got to rein it all in. So we've got land tax, capital gains tax ready to go into the court as well. We've got the WHO case ready to go, the APRA case, and we've also got one against the Commonwealth accusing them of they funded the vaccines using the method of civil conscription that was implemented by the state health acts. Everything is just so freaking corrupt and they're shoving it in their faces. So lots of cases. So we're trying to not just get the covenant signed for the numbers, because it is a decree by declaration. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for permission. We are commanding. We are the power, and we need to understand that. You know, when I say we are the power, I mean it. We are
I
the
know,
power.
the whole world shook when you did that.
It's just for the whole bloody table. Take after myself. Everything jump on the table. We are the power. We are the ultimate authority of this nation, and it's time we stood up. There will be nothing left for our children. Absolutely nothing. It's being raped and pillaged. King Henry VIII, clause 1551. Oh, expand on that. What's that, Robert?
Yeah, Rocket. You want to give us a little bit more?
Probably something to do with chopping his wife's head.
Send it to me on Telegram if you've got something big there. I've got it open over here on the side. If you want to shoot that through to me, brother. I'm not familiar with it myself. I will have a look at some of these starred comments. We've got Leander here, who identifies as Mrs. Doubtfire. I had to star that because that's just hilarious. Gold. Love it. Love it. Very creative. Very creative. Jason had another one that's probably going to be banned very soon, by the way legislation's going. But wash your mouth out with anti-Semitic. Antiseptic is what we meant. But, you know, it does lead me to the idea of, like, I mean, come on. We've got anti-hatred, anti-violence laws that should encompass everyone. As soon as you start creating, as soon as you start creating this, well, we're going to have a set of rules just for a religion, you're asking for trouble. They're literally asking for it, or attempting to create it. Because, I mean, that's just madness. Like, either we're all the same or we're not. And if we're not, then I see, no better example than the concept of the need for anti-Semitic laws.
It's discrimination, and this is the bizarre thing: is that the Semites are the Palestinians and the Arabs. It's not even the Israeli Jews. That's the bizarre thing. The other more bizarre thing, like, if you go down the rabbit holes like we do with the the ancient history, and there are those that have infiltrated civilizations and cultures for many, many hundreds of years. They hide themselves in there. Such as the Tuatha De Dan or the Ashkenazi that aren't really Jews at all. So this is the thing. And Ashkenazi, the last four letters in that are Nazi. And their most sacred of doctrines is the mystical Kabbalah, which is connected with the Talmud, which is connected with the tarot. And guess what? One of their most sacred symbols is. Come on, I've told you this.
I'm gone blank.
The swastika. This is the irony.
I keep putting that with the Hindus, the swastika.
Oh, it's a lot more ancient than the Hindus. The Hindus absolutely had it, but it's a lot more ancient than the Hindus.
It's a great many things. I mean, while you're going on that, all I can think of is, channeling. I mean, some people might call it praying, and I think that's where the idea of praying was designed to skew people away from the true idea of actually communicating. It's like they're trying to channel it through a church, they're trying to channel it through a priest or somebody, a figure of authority, as opposed to you having a direct line. You know, again, the same idea of, you know, the sovereign being the king or whatnot is the direct line to God, and you, the people, have to go through that sovereign entity and things like that. To me, this is just the idea of controlling not only your mind,
Yeah, it is,
but
because
your spirit as well.
Spiritual war, Batty. We know that it is a spiritual war, and the answers lie within.
Yeah.
So that's where the
And
answers
any
are.
one of us
God
can
is
connect
within.
directly
Source,
to
creator.
source,
Yes.
God, whatever.
Don't look
Give
up.
it a name. It doesn't really matter, because whatever it is probably doesn't give a shit what the name is. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, you can do it. You don't need a priest. You don't need a church. You don't need a king or a queen or an emperor or anyone else's authority or permission to be able to do that. And that's, I think, what one of the biggest lies of the centuries.
It's all control mechanisms.
Has always been. So, you know, again, that's why I don't prescribe to religion.
When you're ready, Gaza, better drop me a line and I'll shout you a beer, or we can.
Oh.
Okay.
So there's a lot of other conversations that happen in the chat too. It can be
a
trick to decipher them sometimes, you know.
Is that why they're called TV channels?
So you can channel in.
I think they're channeling you.
That could be it too. Reverse polarity, sending the signal in as opposed to asking for it. You know? I suppose when you turn it on, you're asking for the information to be plugged in. I think that's why it's television programming as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Programming, absolutely. Indoctrinating us. I saw something up there earlier about, thank you, guys. Jackie knows what she's doing. Trust her. Hear that, DD? Hear that? I know what I'm doing. I do, actually. I try and always be very, very specific, and I don't say anything that I can't show you reference points to. Thank you very much, Gaza. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. Bring me back.
Well, in the meantime, thank you, Karen. I love my shirt too. I think it's awesome. You know, next time I come across Pauline Hanson and I'm engaged in a loudest t-shirt competition with her, I'll be wearing this one.
So how much money's in your account, Pauline? Every single one of them needs to have their bloody accounts looked at.
Oh, yeah. No, well, they've got them all hidden behind trusts.
Absolutely. This is the thing. If we make accountable those who have sold us out, who've been directly involved with any transactions that have been to do with the stealing of our equity or causing harm to the people, every single one of those
transformers, just trans in general,
everything that is all profits of crime. All of their assets, their estates, everything needs to be sold and given to the people. Of course, he's drinking, Rexy. Look at that.
What drinking? What are you on, mate? I want someone what Rexy's on. How did you not see that I'm? That doesn't even begin to make sense.
Are you drinking that with what are you drinking it with, Batty? Bundy, oh my God.
On this one, with a Pepsi.
Oh.
Sorry.
We've all got coughs down here.
Riker. That looks like the misspelling of you know, Commander Riker's name from Star Trek.
Rakia.
I didn't see the I.
I did see somebody put up there. So apparently, yes, I have heard that. I have seen.
Where's that one from? Small batch handcraft, Iceland. Icelandic. Nice.
Nice. Tim is going to
pre-chilled.
Yeah, all sellouts. Now, Tim Dwyer is going to have a meeting with or doing some sort of presentation with Augusto Zimmerman. So I'm going to do my best to get out to that. Very interested to see what's going on. Very interested. I went and saw Augusto Zimmerman. He's a professor. He's a constitutional professor. I went and about 2 years ago, I think it was now, and watched him. Great presentation, 2-hour presentation. Knows everything that's going on, but no remedy whatsoever. I'm sorry, I just call it how it is, peeps. Just call it how it is.
No, remedy is a challenge. Yeah, I mean the years of research required to figure these things out, just what the hell's going on, and have any of us really truly discovered the entirety of the bullshit that's been served up to us? You know, I mean, it's like a lifelong mission to try and figure out the decades and centuries and whatever the next terminology, thousands upon years of lies, deceit, bullshit, manipulation.
No, don't make excuses. If you've got degrees and you're a barrister or a lawyer, and they're the most simplest of things, such as Dr. Beverley's Section 109, inconsistency of laws, and then you've got just the doctor-patient relationship. Everybody knows that is a contract law. There was a breach of that. Like, if so much of what they are doing is so blatantly in our faces wrong. So you can't tell me that all of these, how many of us are there, Betty? Is it 26 million? Or never about 27?
I did have that number up before. We were over 27. And let's find that page again.
It's 26.
So, according to this, we are at 27,923,100, and that's an 100 people. That's an estimate, and that's of July 11th. So, Struth, I mean, a couple of days has passed since then, so Albo's probably imported at least another 1,000 people. So we're probably up to 28,000 by now, and the future projection is 30 million by 2021.
The country cannot sustain it. This is the thing people don't understand. We have got a very, very limited amount of pastoral, agricultural, and alluvial soils that that can, sustain crops, etc., that we can grow food on or put animals out onto. It is absolutely bare minimum. Now, down here in Victoria, all of our alluvial soils, all the market gardens, etc., are being put under concrete to accommodate the immigrants that are being brought in. It is absolutely disgusting. I just want to cry, seriously. I'm just watching all of this beautiful soil. They actually scrape it all up, build the estates, and then you got to buy your soil back from the block. It's absolutely atrocious what is going on. They're killing. Anyhow, we know all the problems. We've got to start fixing it. It's up to the people, and I do believe there are good people there that will help us, but we have got to stand up and make a start. We must. We can't just expect somebody to sweep in and save us. As I said, we've got to implement the change that we seek, and so long as we do it peacefully and lawfully. The covenant is a peaceful instrument. It is a reflection of what has been, the covenants over the past. Shut up with that, Darren. The covenants over the past 700 years.
Sounded like he was pouring a drink.
No, it's he's got a cup that I really like. It's an Egyptian cup. It's all right. I won't get it. He likes to point at it. So this is the thing. The covenant is a peaceful, lawful instrument. It is not just a decree by declaration. It is also a claim of right in there as well. And so is the notice of accountability. So we are very well establishing what is enshrined in law. We've just got to stand up and bloody own it and make sure that we remain peaceful and lawful as we do it. So as the covenants are getting signed and growing in number, we're trying to get the cases through the courts. And, so it's just trying to get remedy. And because I think we are all sick and frickin' tired of hearing of, the problems. We know what the problems are. Yeah.
Well, coming back to the immigration issue too, I did notice this video and I downloaded it and I wasn't sure if we are going to find a place for it, but we did. So
Sydney Town Hall with Down Under Reform protests for zero immigration until housing is affordable. And the reason we're calling for this is because there is currently an estimated shortage of 300,000 homes in Australia. Yet the Albanese government is continuing to bring in people faster than we can build homes. And their own report has estimated that over the next 4 years, the shortage will get even worse by 79,000 homes. So we are calling for a complete halt on immigration, with exceptions only for clinical healthcare workers, skilled construction workers, and other exceptional circumstances, and for this to continue until housing is affordable. So if you agree, please come down and join us at our protest at Sydney Town Hall. Zero immigration till housing is affordable. Zero immigration till housing is affordable. Zero immigration till housing is affordable.
You know what?
Okay, we are here at Sydney
Good
Town.
on them. Good on them.
I mean,
it's zero.
I love the
immigration.
idea, because the idea of housing becoming affordable in the current economic climate,
That's it,
that could
Adrian.
take generations.
Listen, this is the other thing, is that, you know, a lot of the immigrants that they are bringing in have a lot of children. They multiply very, very quickly. This country, this land cannot sustain 27 million, let alone 30 million. And that is going to, God, it'll be up to 35 million.
The country can, just the infrastructure can't.
No,
Yeah,
the actual,
exactly.
yeah, the
There's plenty of
infrastructure.
space. There's plenty of space. There's no houses. There's no water. There's no we don't even have enough electricity to power who we've got. You know.
Yeah, look, this is the thing. There are ways you can turn deserts into oases and everything else. If we just, there are ways, but
I don't doubt that.
unfortunately,
I mean, under the current circumstances, we're up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, we are. We're up shit creek. And look, this is all by design. We all know that there is nothing. There, I keep saying there is no stone that has been left unturned. This has been very, very well orchestrated. They start designing, legislation and acts to accommodate what they plan on rolling out in, 10, 15 or 20 years. So that's the scary thing. Remedy, that's one of my favourite songs, mate. Love Remedy, Black Crows.
So Rocket did acknowledge the question we asked. Can you send it through? So he sent this through to us. It's happening. So thanks, Rocket. I did see that you sent that. Fundamentally, we got the clause and the rule of law. Oh, Struth, I'm on the wrong bloody page. I need to be. I've too many things open here. So the clause is a term given to the provision of a primary act. Let's get to the actual rule of issue. Henry IV clauses an unconstitutional abdication of power. The High Court has held that they are not, as long as Parliament retains the right to repeal or amend the primary statute per Mason, C.J. Dawson, and Hugh J.J. in the capital duplicators.
Read that.
A parliament cannot bind a future parliament. That's why you can amend or repeal.
Right.
Can you imagine that? They wrote in some tyrannical laws and you couldn't change them. Okay, you've got to be able to amend and repeal.
This is another thing Australians need to comprehend. Our Constitution is the most powerful document in the world. It is better than any other constitution. And its purpose is to ensure that governments are kept with a chain around their bloody neck to keep them in line. It is their restraint so they cannot become tyrannical. Hence, they buried it and want us to think it no longer exists. I only want to go to
This is huge. I might just send this through to you guys and you can have a bit of a squiz yourselves. Probably not something we want to analyze towards the end of a podcast, but just want to acknowledge that, yes, we have received it and we will look at it.
There's some good papers on the Rule of Law Institute.
Okay.
I believe that's where that paper
is.
It
does say Rule of Law Institute of Australia, and it's a draft based on Henry VIII clauses and the rule of law. So it probably deserves a little bit more than the quick skim that I've given it, but just not prepared to deal with the 9 pages of it right now.
The viewers can pause.
Yeah, wow. You can. I will do one better, and I will copy. Actually, sorry, I will get it from Telegram, and I will share that to my Telegram page.
Yeah, no, cause 5. Good on you. I saw a couple. Tyrannical. Tyrannical means a government that is causing ever-increasing hardship on the people, where it is an absolute struggle to survive. This is what they are doing to us. They are forcing us off our land. They are forcing our farmers off their land. That's what tyranny is. So, hope it's I can't remember the rest of the other messages there, but yeah, look, we've got to do something about it. No one is going to save us, hasn't the Australia? Of course, it hasn't replaced the bloody Australia Act. You can flush that down the toilet. There are certain sections, the Australia Act is subject to the Constitution. TD, I fucking hate our government. So do I. It's written there.
Join the club.
Oh,
That's why I brought this wonderful idea, the cost of living crisis. Don't you mean the cost of government crisis? Let's turn it on its head, Send it back. Return to sender. Return to sender.
Yeah. They are behind absolutely.
Yeah, all right, I'll post it on X, mate. I can email it to you too, Adrian.
What else do we need to go over, Dailies? We just cannot encourage people, enough to stand up and actually recognize we are the power. Stand up, people. We've got to get our country back. Does my head in. Seriously, does my head in. The boilers.
One more comment's been starred here. I'll bring it up. I reckon you like this one, Jackie. Jackie got the whip out. That's why Darren is out of screenshot.
I got my knuckle duster on. That's why.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I'm in bondage.
He's a little brother. Got to rein him in. Yes.
So I have to thank the wonderful family out there who's starring comments for starring that one for you, Darren.
Yeah, well, clearly I'm not the adopted one.
Hey, how'd your son go with his push-ups?
Yeah, I believe all sorted. Zach, quickly drop a comment in. Actually, I should have been prepared for that question. He did achieve his goal. Many people did drop a few bucks in there. So the important question is, I didn't even think to ask myself, son, did you beat your teacher? I think that was your goal, was to make sure that you got more than your teacher. So he did achieve his goal. He's looking a lot bigger than he did before. I'm certainly intimidated to be in his presence at this particular point, especially since I'm disabled on top of it all. I feel safer walking down the street with him.
Very important these days.
Definitely.
Mark, how long are you off air for? You better let the viewers know.
3 weeks. Yeah, I'm off air for the next 3 weeks. We will be back on the 8th of the 8th at 8 o'clock with a guest from Kiwi Land who's already reserved the first spot back. So, if you got anybody out there who wants to come on and share their wonderful knowledge, their research, whatever they may feel the people should know about, you better start booking slots because they're filling up fast already.
Rocket's saying that Henry VIII rule of law was used in Boilermakers.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I have to look into that.
Yeah, it'll be in the references.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Have you got a link to that too, Rocket, man? Send it through, brother, and we'll
Thanks,
I'll pass it on.
Yeah, look, we will do this. We will do this. We're doing it in the right frequency, doing it in the right energy. It is definitely a spiritual war. So,
Harps wants to buy me a Bundy. Is that? Do I interpret that correctly, Batty?
Yeah,
but can he buy you a Bundy? I don't know. I'm missing the context of that, perhaps. But you can if you like. More than happy to accept a gift of a Bundy. I've even got a beanie that says "Will work for beer." So just in case you're wondering,
I'm sure you do. Those that are writing up the new Parliament House and see was the attempt to dissolve the. Oh, I did pretty good with the push-ups. I confirmed that.
I didn't beat the teacher.
3,000 push-ups over how long?
It isn't easy. How long was that again? Was it 2 weeks or something? Or was it a month? Can't remember.
Do you know a wonderful, one of our wonderful old diggers, John Murphy, who passed
2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
Build that up, mate. I want 3,000 in 1 week.
I'd like
if you keep going, son, if you keep going, it'll be a lot easier next time.
I received some very bad news at the start of the week. Lee Rumble, from famous from the Rumble versus Liverpool Shire Plains Council case, where they got a QC in and had council and police charged for trespassing. Lee unfortunately passed away at the start of the week.
Oh, that's very sad. No good.
And I was going to say, our dear digger down here, a veteran, John Murphy, who died recently, he was up to something, it was hundreds of sit-ups a day. Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
May they all rest in peace.
May they all rest in peace.
Definitely. I should have brought some lecky tape and wrapped around my arm like football players.
Yeah. So, peeps, stand up. There's no other way we do this. Get together with communities. Hook up, creator communities. Let's unite in numbers. Teach each other the old ways. We must go back to the old ways. The organic stuff, you know, when everything, it was normal for it to be organic. It was it
wasn't called organic, it was just called
it was normal.
Food.
Yeah. It was just called food. That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just
it was
food.
just called fruit and veg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bloody mad. And it's like they call it's all this slight with the grammar, you see. So it's not alternate medicine. It's actually traditional medicine, and the pharmaceutical is the poison.
Yeah. Well, it's the alternative medicine when you think about it, because at the end of the day, the pharmaceutical companies have gone around and gotten all the traditional medicine, crammed it into a little science kit, moved one little atom here, gone, now we've got a patentable process, get rid of all traditional medicine and push our alternative medicine. Yeah, and I mean, and their alternative medicine comes with side effects. Standard science, cause and effect.
Destroys one organ after the other. One organ after the other. You know, some of our elderly, I know my brother-in-law's mother, she was on like 30 tablets a day. So she'd have the tablet and then she'd have 6 tablets to counteract the side effects of that tablet. And then the next tablet, and she'd have 3 to counteract the effects of that. And, you know, her liver was gone from taking those ones. So now it's never ending. They're killing us. Absolutely.
I've seen it so many times in slow motion. Like, you know, you see, I've got this problem, so the doctor put me on this one. And next time you talk to them, oh, well, that pill they put me on's caused this problem. Now they put me on this pill. And then a few months later, again, the same thing. It's this constant cycle, you know. Every pill they gives me causes another problem. Eventually, our body's going to shut down.
And why on earth should any as minimal as it is, why would any poison be put into our food? Anything carcinogenic, like the CDC, the FDA, what have you? Oh, yeah, we're going to allow this little minute bit of poison to be put in this food. Why? Why is there poison in the food?
Yeah.
You see what we just accept these things. It's the same with the plastic. Watching something shocking with that the other day. They're making ice cream out of plastic. And the bottled water, like every single thing they do is to harm us.
You know, I remember it used to be a Jewish joke in our Catholic school, you know, that one day they'll sell your water. Yeah.
Well, guess what? You know, the Canadian Mounties own something like 20% of our water, and every single parliamentarian has given themselves water rights so they can sell it off to foreign interest.
Wow.
There was a lady that stood up in Parliament. Do you remember what her name was? No. She was an older woman. It was about 3 or 4 years ago I saw it, and she stood up and she said, I don't know about the rest of you. She said, but I'm going to call it how it is. I've got water rights, and so do all of us. We've been given water rights.
Well, we're all predominantly made of water, apparently. Being held together by carbon.
Do you know, I was reading something very interesting the other day. So the water that is within us is not H2O. It's got 3 oxygen molecules It's H3O. Yeah. I was doing some deep esoteric sort of
Well,
diving.
I know, like, well, 3 oxygen molecules on its own is ozone. I remember that from the propaganda.
100
stuff
ups. Good
we
on
learned
you.
at school.
Mm.
H3O. How do you fuse an extra oxygen molecule into that?
Look, it's this is the what is within our body. So it's to do with life force and life energy.
It's hydronium.
Holy Trinity.
Correct. Water is very, very it's very, very special. We do not recognize yet its potential and its qualities. It has memory. It is healing. Look, so this is another example. Water, you can kill water by running it through straight pipes and then bends.
Yeah.
Okay. That is damaging the structure of our water.
But you can replenish it by putting it in a pyramid, I've heard too. I'm yet to conduct tests on that, but it's just hearsay.
Yeah, it needs to flow. But this is why they everything they do is to destroy or break down the goodness or the what is of benefit to us. It's the same with our salt. I think that how many Manuela will know this one. How many elements of or minerals in our salt do they remove? Just
probably got about 80.
Yeah. And they leave 2.
Yeah, sodium and chloride.
Yeah. I've got coughs. Yeah. Every single thing they do. Still can.
Well, I think we might have to leave it there. My back teeth are floating. It's about time to call it a day, I think. Thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Betty. Got to rock and roll. Yeah, we are the power, people.
That's right. People are the power.
We used to pump ozone gas into water when we were making ice. Oh, okay. Very good. Ozone.
So we've done a good 2 hours. Thanks for being the exit for a short break here. I mean, what was it intended when I called you just to see how things were going? You're like, no, I've got to let the people know, and you made sure you were here. So well done. Thanks. I hear you guys hit it pretty hard last night, or at least you anticipated doing so. So, you know, we got one sick fella on the other side here. He's not going to get any better by punishing his liver. But
no, I haven't had a drink for.
I said, put your big boy pants on and come around and join Manuela around.
No, I haven't had a drink for over a week.
He put his big boy pants on, came around, and then went and crashed.
Oh, wow. Proper sick.
Yeah.
I got some of that government poison, or was it a flu / COVID 1984?
Hey?
Got a bit of the flu / COVID 1984, whatever we're calling, a head cold these days.
Yeah, we had a flu go through the Know Your Rights group on the Gold Coast last weekend. So everyone got wiped out.
Daryl got really crooked, didn't he?
Yeah, Daryl's not in a good way. So our best wishes to the big man himself.
Yeah. Hope you get better, Daryl, if you're watching.
Yeah, he's a good man. Very, very good man.
Definitely. We need to look after Daryl. We need that fine mind functioning.
Yeah. Hey, so get the people out there, Batty, to start arranging convoys through their states from country to coast, so we can start getting messages out there from the farmers out to the rural. It is very, very important. Thanks for all this. Don't disrespect. That's the way. Don't disrespect women. It goes both ways. We can't disrespect our men either. We must respect them.
We've all got to work together one way or the other.
That's it. Yeah, that's all government agenda too.
That's it. Divide and conquer, and divided we will fall.
Absolutely.
So thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for heaps for coming on, Jackie. I'd keep yarning, but my bladder is just not going to handle it at this point. It's going to be a messy podcast if we don't wrap it up now. And nobody wants to see that, I might have to in the break, work on turning this seat into a toilet or something, so I can just sit here and keep going.
Mate, last time I was up there in the studio, what was that bucket for under the desk?
Shh. We're supposed to tell people about that.
Hey, if anybody wants any,
Clearly, it hasn't been emptied.
oh God,
No.
if anybody wants any information, seminars or talks, let me know, because I'm more than happy to go anywhere. Well, within reason.
Well, we might have to get you up here in Townsville sooner rather than later. It's going to get hot
Anywhere I
soon.
can afford to. I don't expect anything to go and speak and share information and knowledge as I learn.
Right now's the time to go because it's probably only about 27 degrees.
Yeah, I think so. It's a bit chilly. I can tell you that much. I mean,
I'm surprised he hasn't got his hoodie on.
Well, it's
Wow.
chilly, 27.
Yeah,
I did have my hoodie on last night, long pants and everything. Like as soon as that sun starts, like it doesn't even have to set. Just in the descent, I'm like, nah, hoodie, pants.
What's
be
the
done.
low overnight? It's about 18 or something.
Oh, it depends on the day. It can get as low as 10, but that only happens maybe 3 times a year.
Oh, it's getting about as high as 10 here at the moment.
Yeah,
It's currently 23 degrees here. Oh, sorry, that's Charters Towers. Why have I got to set to Charters Towers?
You're a funny bugger.
Probably because I was there not long ago.
Here
it comes. Here it comes. It's 23 in Townsville too. There you go. So that's cold, and overnight minimum of 14, fucking freezing, So if you can tolerate such cool climates, by all means, now's not a bad time to come visit.
You're cooler now, aren't you, than in summer? Is that right? No, hotter now than in summer.
This is the cool time. This is when our winter looks like a Victorian summer. And then in summer, well, because this is dry season, so we don't really have, the traditional 4 seasons. We have dry season and wet season. And so it's warm and fucking hot. It's basically the way you look at it.
Well, I can't see it.
No. So yeah, if you were to pop up in say January, you'll be sweating your ring out constantly, and it doesn't cool down overnight.
No, I pass out in heat. I like it cold. Otherwise, I walk around with a spray bottle.
Well, this is the time of year for you guys to come visit, and I'll come visit you guys in summer because that's about the only time I can deal with it.
They're funny. Australians, stand up. Please sign the covenant, share it around, and the notice of accountability. Get together. Let's arrange some convoys around the country. Get our farmers on board with stuff and help them.
As exclusively downloadable on Constitution Watch.
Yep.
Constitutionwatch.com.au. You'll find both the covenant and the notice of accountability there.
And it's so easy. All you have to do is go to constitutionwatch.com, and we'll even back it up again to show you just how easy it is. Straight away from Constitution Watch, from the top of the page, second article, click on said article, scroll down a little bit further, you'll find the email in which to send it. You'll see the very easily displayable page where you can click to expand, and you can click to unexpand, and
you are so high tech, Betty.
And you can click the download button, and you can keep scrolling to the second document and do the same. Very easy, very user friendly, very well designed website. I'll have to talk to your website designer and design one for myself at some stage very shortly. I think we'll leave it at that because the back teeth are beyond floating. It's Noah's Ark is being built on my molars. So thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for coming on, Jackie.
Thank you. We're the power people.
That's it. And I'll see you.
About to break.
Say again.
The levee's clearly about to break.
That's it. And I'll see everybody else on the 8th of the 8th at 8 o'clock.
That's cool.
When we come back. And yep, that's my bladder right now, and I'm done. Thank you all very much. See you later.
Ciao.